now. Salawat. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. My elders, my scholars, my brothers and sisters in Islam, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm going to begin by saying thank you to you on three thank yous first of all. I thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for giving us all the opportunity to be here today, to remember Ma, and to continue us remembering all our marhumeens on a daily basis. The second thank you is we originally booked this for February, but we had to change the date. Now, I know a lot of you made arrangements and changed dates and etc. for that February, and we had to change it. So I thank you for being understanding on that point, and I thank you today for all making the efforts from afar and also online for joining us in remembering Ma, my father, Marhum Asghar Ali Mawani, and all our marhumeens that have passed away. So what I'd like to do is to start with a Surah Fatiha for all our marhumeens with three quls, and at the same time on the screens we can remember some of our marhumeens that have gone, who have been pillars to us in our life. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. To start the program, I'm going to ask for Brother Zahir Abbas to come and open the program with a Tilwat Quran, and it will be followed by my son Miqdad Mawani to recite Surah Yasin. Bismillah.
Salawat ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So, Anis Chacha, I would like to also say a thank you to you for giving me this privilege of being able to recite again for Marhuma and all our Marhumeen. The surah I've chosen to recite today is a short one, Surah Teen. And the reason for that is because it's narrated by Rasulullah that the reward given to the person who recites this surah is immeasurable, it cannot be counted. If recited, it's as if that person has gone to visit Rasulullah himself. So inshallah, this is in dedication for Marhuma and all our Marhumin, inshallah. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والتين والزيتون وطور سينين وهذا البلد العمين لقد خلقنا الإنسان في أحسن تقويم ثم رددناه أسفل السافلين إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات فلهم أجر غير ممنون فما يكذبك بعد بالدين أليس الله بأحكم الحاكمين صدق الله العلي العظيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم ياسين والقرآن الحكيم إنك لمن المرسلين على صراط مستقيم تنزيل العزيز الرحيم لتنذر قوما ما أنذر آباؤهم فهم غافلون لقد حق القول على أكثرهم فهم لا يؤمنون إنا جعلنا في أعناقهم أغلالا فهي إلى الأذقان فهم مقمحون وجعلنا من بين أيديهم سدا ومن خلفهم سدا فأغشيناهم فهم لا يبصرون وسواء عليهم أنذرتهم أم لم تنذرهم لا يؤمنون إنما تنذر من اتبع الذكر وخشي الرحمن بالغيب فبشره بمغفرة وأجر كريم إنا نحن نحيي الموتى ونكتب ما قدموا وآثارهم وكل شيء أحصيناه في إمام مبين واضرب لهم مثلا أصحاب القرية إذ جاءها المرسلون إذ أرسلنا إليهم اثنين فكذبوهما فعززنا بثالث فقالوا إنا إليكم مرسلون قالوا ما أنتم إلا بشر مثلنا وما أنزل الرحمن من شيء إن أنتم إلا تكذبون قالوا ربنا يعلم إنا إليكم لمرسلون وما علينا إلا البلاغ المبين قالوا إنا تطيرنا بكم لئن لم تنتهوا لنرجمنكم وليمسنكم منا عذاب أليم قالوا طائركم معكم لئن ذكرتم بل أنتم قوم مسرفون وجاء من أقصى المدينة رجل يسعى قال يا قوم اتبعوا المرسلين اتبعوا من لا يسألكم أجرا وهم مهتدون وما لي لا أعبد الذي فطرني وإليه ترجعون أتخذ من دونه آلهة إن يردني الرحمن بضر لا تغني عني شفاعتهم شيئا ولا ينقذون إني إذا لفي ضلال مبين إني آمنت بربكم فاسمعون قيل ادخل الجنة قال يا ليت قومي يعلمون بما غفر لي ربي وجعلني من المكرمين وما أنزلنا على قومه من بعده من جند من السماء وما كنا منزلين إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم خامدون يا حسرة على العباد ما يأتيهم من رسول إلا كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كم أهلكنا قبلهم من القرون أنهم إليهم لا يرجعون وإن كل لما جميع لدينا محضرون وآية لهم الأرض الميتة أحييناها وأخرجنا منها حبا فمنه يأكلون وجعلنا فيها جنات من نخيل وأعناب وفجرنا فيها من العيون ليأكلوا من ثمره وما عملته أيديهم أفلا تشكرون سبحان الذي خلق الأزواج كلها مما تنبت الأرض ومن أنفسهم ومما لا يعلمون وآية لهم الليل نسلخ منه النهارا فإذا هم مظلمون والشمس تجري لمستقر لها ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم والقمر قدرناه منازل حتى عاد كالأرجون القديم لا الشمس ينبغي لها أن تدرك القمر ولا الليل سابق النهار وكل في فلك يسبحون وآية لهم أنا حملنا ذريتهم في الفلك المشحون وخلقنا لهم من مثله ما يركبون وإن نشأ نغرقهم فلا شريك لهم ولهم ينقذون إلا رحمة منا ومتاعا إلى حين وإذا قيل لهم اتقوا ما بين أيديكم وما خلفكم لعلكم ترحمون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين وإذا قيل لهم أنفقوا مما رزقكم الله قال الذين كفروا والذين آمنوا أن نطعم من لو يشاء الله أطعمه إن أنتم إلا في ضلال مبين ويقولون متى هذا الوعد إن كنتم صادقين ما ينظرون إلا صيحة واحدة تأخذهم وهم يقسمون فلا يستطيعون توصية ولا إلى أهلهم يرجعون ونفخ في السور فإذا هم من الأجداث إلى ربهم ينسلون قالوا يا ويلنا من بعثنا من مركتنا هذا ما وعد الرحمن وصدق المرسلون إن كانت إلا صيحة واحدة فإذا هم جميع لدينا محضرون فاليوم لا تظلم نفس شيئا ولا تجزون إلا ما كنتم تعملون إن أصحاب الجنة اليوم في شغل فاكهون هم وأزواجهم في ظلال على الأرائك متكئون لهم فيها فاكهة ولهم ما يدعون سلام قولا من رب رحيم وامتازوا اليوم أيها المجرمون ألم أعهد إليكم يا بني آدم ألا تعبدوا الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين وأن اعبدوني هذا صراط مستقيم ولقد أضل منكم جبلا كثيرا أفلم تكونوا تأكلون هذه جهنم التي كنتم توعدون اصلوها اليوم بما كنتم تكفرون اليوم نختم على أفواههم وتكلمنا أيديهم وتشهد أرجلهم بما كانوا يكسبون ولو نشاء لطمسنا على أعينهم فاستبقوا الصراط فأنى يبصرون ولو نشاء لمسخناهم على مكانتهم فما استطاعوا مضيا ولا يرجعون ومن نؤمره ننقص في الخلق أفلا يعقلون وما علمناه الشعر وما ينبغي له إن هو إلا ذكر وقرآن مبين لينذر من كان حيا ويحق القول على الكافرين أولم يروا أنا خلقنا لهم مما عملت أيدينا أنعاما فهم لها مالكون وظللناها لهم فمنها ركوبهم ومنها يأكلون ولهم فيها منافع ومشارب أفلا يشكرون واتخذوا من دون الله آلهة لعلهم ينصرون لا يستطيعون نصرهم وهم لهم جند محضرون فلا يحزنك قولهم إنا نعلم ما يسرون وما يعلنون أولم يرى الإنسان أنا خلقناه من نطفة فإذا هو خصيم مبين وضرب لنا مثلا ونسي خلقه قال من يحيي العظام وهي رميم قل يحييها الذي أنشأها أول مرة وهو بكل خلق عليم للذي جعل لكم من الشجر الأخضر نارا فإذا أنتم منه توقدون أوليس الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بقادر على أن يخلق مثلهم بلى وهو الخلاق العليم إنما أمره إذا أراد شيئا أن يقول له كن فيكون فسبحان الذي بيده ملكوت كل شيء وإليه ترجعون صدق الله العلي العظيم. الفاتحة.
Thank you both to Zaire Abbas and Migdad for some beautiful recitations and explaining why the Surah al-Quran was so important. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has said, and your Lord has commanded that you shall not serve anyone but Him and give goodness to your parents, which is what we are doing today, remembering all our Mohammed. So once again, thank you for all being here. Can I invite our very own Mulla Sahab to give his lecture today, please, with a nice salawat.
صل على محمد. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى محمد وأهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا. اللهم صل على محمد واللعنة الدائمة الباقية على أعدائهم أجمعين. أما بعد، فقد قال الله تبارك وتعالى في كتابه المجيد: بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. فذكر فإن الذكرى تنفع المؤمنين. آمنا بالله. صدق الله العلي العظيم. اللهم صل على محمد. My dear elders, my brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum jami'an wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I consider it as an honor to have been given this opportunity to recite Majlis in remembrance and in memory of, and for Ithal Thawab of, Marhuma Khatijabai Mawani. Let us remember her and all our marhumin and gift them one Surah Fatiha. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Ar-Rahmanir Rahim. Maliki Yawmiddin. Iyyaka na'budu wa iyyaka nasta'in. Ihdinas siratal mustaqim. Siratal ghayril maghdubi alayhim. Please recite salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa It is said that the first training ground, the first school for any child is the lap of the mother. The importance of mother in Islam, you may have heard it many times, but the verse of the Holy Quran that I recited is verse from Surah Dhariyat, where the Prophet has been told by Allah or commanded by Allah, وَذَكِّرْ, and remind. وَذَكِّرْ, and remind. فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَى, because the reminder, تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ, it benefits the believers. So whatever I'm going to present today is mostly reminders. And these reminders, we all need that, because these reminders may awaken us and make sure that we are ready to fulfill our responsibilities. So to begin with, first to understand the importance of the mother. Who is a mother? Okay, I know that, and I've seen this board in the houses of people, and it is written, no one can take place of mother. No one can take place of mother. Mother who carried the child for 9 months in her womb. Mother who, as Quran says, bore all those difficulties at the time of carrying the child, and the difficulties at the time when she delivered the child. And after that, that love which is there between the mother and the child, that love cannot be explained. That love cannot be explained. The mother is ready to sacrifice everything in order to ensure that the child does not miss out things. She will remain hungry, but the child gets the food. She will remain thirsty, but making sure that the child has something to drink. she will make sure that the child is feeling comfortable, while she will be ready to face that coldness and that difficult time. She will be ready to sacrifice everything. In order to understand, and this is especially for the children, for the young boys and girls listening to this, please listen and then reflect. This is one part of a reminder that I am trying to explain. Recite salawat, please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa. Sheikh Murtada Ansari, who is considered to be one of the great Shia scholars. Some of the books that he has written, these are books that even in the Hausa today are being utilized. Those books were written more than 250 years ago. In the course in Hausa, before you reach to that stage where you can progress further, the books written by Ayatollah or Sheikh Murtada Ansari Marhum, these books are still being used as textbooks for the students. Great scholar. When his mother died, Sheikh Murtada Ansari himself was quite old when his mother passed away. And it is said that the body of his mother was lying, and Sheikh Murtada Ansari was crying, was weeping. People there. He was weeping. Sheikh Murtada Ansari. I don't want to go into details, but I just want to tell you that this is one personality for whom Imam Ali alayhi salam recited Suratul Fatiha in his ear from the beginning up to the end. And when Imam Ali alayhi salam recites Suratul Fatiha, it is said that everything which is there in the Quran is in Suratul Hamd. And whatever is in Suratul Hamd is found in Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. And whatever is found in Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim is in that letter Ba. And Imam Ali alayhi salam said that that dot under Ba is I, Ali bin Abi Talib alayhi salam. So when Imam Ali alayhi salam recited that whole surah in the ear of Sheikh Murtada Ansari, you can understand the level of his knowledge. But this person who has reached to such a high level of knowledge, mother's body there, he is crying, he's weeping. One of his students comes and says, Ya Sheikh, it does not befit you that you, having such a high status in the society, having such a high position in the society, you are crying and weeping for your mother who was old and she has passed away. Sheikh Murtada Ansari tells the student, it seems after learning all these years, you do not know the status of mother. Believe me, my dear elders, brothers and sisters, we do not know the status of mother. Sheikh Murtada Ansari tells that student of his, you do not know the status of mother. And then Sheikh Murtada Ansari says, whatever I am today is because of the early training that was given to me by my mother. How important it is. That's why the Prophet has advised us that when you want to choose a spouse, a boy wants to choose a girl as his wife, first ensure that one quality, that is, how will she be as a mother for your children? Right? If that woman has got those qualities, but where it shows that she will love her children and she will look after the children, definitely go and get married to her. You are not only looking after yourself or your own interest, you are looking after the interest of the generation that is going to come, and for that, the position of mother is very important. And therefore, Sheikh Murtada Ansari taught us that at the very young, when the child is growing up, the mother's training is so important. And that is why we learn in the tradition given to us by the Holy Prophet that paradise is under the feet of mother. Or there is another tradition that says, Ridallah fi ridal walidain, the pleasure of Allah lies in the pleasure of the parents. So it is important for us, those of us whose parents are alive, pray to Allah Azza wa Jal for their good health. Pray Allah Azza wa Jal that they remain with you for a longer period. And those of us who have lost our parents, we should not forget them after they have passed away. And this is where I want to come down to the second point. Recite salawat, please. Nanis. Recite one salawat loudly, please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin. Once again, salawat, please. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad. So now, I want to come down to the second point where it is mentioned in the traditions that it is possible that when the parents were alive, the parents were happy with their children, with their son, with their daughter, okay? But after passing away, it is possible that they will become unhappy. And they will do aq, meaning they will disassociate their children. And vice versa. It is possible that the parents had done aq when they were alive. But after their passing away, the parents become happy and that aq is removed. This is there in the tradition, and I'm mentioning the reasons why. When they were happy and then they passed away from this world, the reason why they will do aq and the reason why they will disassociate is because the child, after the passing away of the parents, did not care for his parents. Maybe there were debts to be paid. They did not pay the debts of their parents. Maybe there were some of the wajibats they were to be performed. They did not perform. Maybe they did not do istighfar. Maybe they did not give out sadaqah. And when you come to the other side, they did aq when they were alive. But after their passing away, that child fulfilled all the obligation, that child fulfilled all that responsibilities that were there. He did istighfar, he gave out sadaqah, and he did all the good deeds, and the parents will become happy. My dear elders, brothers and sisters, the important point is we do not forget our parents after they have passed away. We continuously need to remember them, and we have that guidance from our fourth Imam, Imam Ali Zainul Abidin, salawatullah wa salamuhu alayhi, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad, where he, in his dua for his parents, he prays to Allah Azza wa Jal, oh Allah, give me tawfiq that after every salat I remember my parents. So a person can do istighfar for his parents, or a person can do any other dua for the benefit of his parents. But that has to be done after, or a person makes that as a habit, as a practice, after every salat to remember his parents. Okay? Now we come to the other point that I want to mention, and that is, what happens once a person passes away from this world? Okay? I want to mention one hadith or 2 or 3 hadiths very quickly for us to all understand. And as I said, maybe we have heard this hadith and we remind ourselves, or if we have not heard, let us try and understand. There is a hadith from our 6th Imam. 6th Imam says, إِنَّ الْمَيِّتَ لَيَفْرَحُ بِالتَّرَحُمِ عَلَيْهِ وَالْإِسْتِغْفَارُ لَهُ كَمَا يَفْرَحُ الْحَيُّ بِالْهَدِيَّةِ تُهْدِي إِلَيْهِ. 6th Imam says that when you show mercy upon a mayyit, someone is passed away, already buried, but you do an act on his or her behalf. That way you are showing mercy, right? The mayyit becomes very happy. La yafrahu becomes happy. And the mayyit becomes happy when you do istighfar for that mayyit. Then 6th Imam tells us, it is similar, that happiness is similar to when you give a gift to a person who is alive. The way that person becomes happy, similarly, the mayyit will become happy when you do an act of mercy for that marhum or marhuma, or you do istighfar for that marhum or marhuma. Istighfar for marhum or marhuma is very simple. Just to pray to Allah, to say, Allahumma ghfir li wali waliday walil mu'minin. All mu'minin are included in that. You do that istighfar. Very simple. But especially for the parents, don't forget them. After every salat or every day, remember them. It was conduct of our 6th Imam that every day in the morning and in the evening, that is at night, Imam would pray 2 rakat prayers for his parents. In the first rakat, he would recite after Suratul Hamd, Surah Inna Anzalna, and in the second rakat, he would recite Inna A'tayna Kal Kawthar, Surat Kawthar. Whether it is in the morning, in the evening, Imam would do that for his parents. And it is mentioned that when you recite this 2 rakat namaz for your parents, if the parents are facing that difficulty in the grave, that squeezing in the grave, because of these 2 rakats, Allah eases that for them. Now comes the question as to what is the position of these who have already passed away. Abu Basir relates, this is regarding the arwah of the believers, right? There was a discussion amongst the companions of 6th Imam, in the presence of 6th Imam, and Abu Basir relates that. And he says, Imam told them that the spirits of the believers meet each other. The spirits of the believers meet each other. So Abu Basir said, I asked Imam, do they indeed meet each other? Do they indeed meet each other? And sixth Imam said, yes. And they talk to each other and recognize each other. When you see someone there, you will say, this is so and so. So this is their position. They are in that company where they meet each other, they know each other. Okay? The point I want to make, and I want to tell this to myself, I'm not telling anyone else at all here, to myself, is that if I wish to meet with the arwah of the marhumin, it is very important for me that during my lifetime I do not keep enmity or hatred or grudge against them. For it is possible that in Akhirah they will turn away from me. It is possible. If they can meet there, these are spirits, these are arwah of the believers. Then comes to the next question, which says, sixth Imam says, that the believer visits his dear ones and relatives, and he sees what he loves, while whatever he dislikes is concealed from him. So if the arwah of our relatives come and visit us to our house, what would you like them to see? Right? Not those things that would show that the family has, for example, God forbids, separated, there is a lot of differences. Unfortunately, within the house, so many things are happening which are against the order of Allah Azza wa Jal. But if there is recitation of the Quran, if there is that closeness amongst the relatives, if there is that spirit that each one are helping each other, then that arwah will like. Then sixth Imam says, amongst the believers are those for whom Friday is the day of visiting, and there are also those, the balance of whose deeds permits them to see them. There are those who get permission every Friday because of their status. And there are those who will get permission maybe once. Imam Ali bin Abi Talib salawatullah wa salamuhu alayhi was asked by someone to say whether the dead are able to visit their relatives. He answered, they are, whereupon this questioner then asked, when do they go to visit? And Imam said, every week, every month, or every year, depending of spiritual rank and capacity. Now, if you were to ask them as to what is their position there, then I have looked at the traditions, and the tradition tells us that the Prophet, Aimma Tahirin alayhimus salam, all guide us to say that if the dead were to talk to us, and if we were to ask them a question as to what is your position there, they will tell us, do not let this world deceive you. Do not let this world deceive you. Don't think that this is your final destination. So you do everything for this world and forget everything for the hereafter. We can go on doing our work. We can go on doing our business. We can go on living a life which is comfortable for us. But at the same time, we do that within the boundary of what Allah Azza wa Jal has told us to do. And that would be considered as worship of Allah, and that would be considered as not a person not transgressing and going away from the limits. So it's important that we prepare ourselves. I was looking at the ahadith mentioned from Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, as well as from the ahadith of Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam. And the reason why I mention both is that the visit to the graveyard is highly encouraged. The Prophet has said, so when I looked at the books of Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, I found out from there that they mention, that Prophet mentioned to say that visit the graves, for that will remind you of Akhirah. For that will remind you of Akhirah. Our culture, our attitude, each one knows better. Okay? I may go to visit the grave of my father or of my mother, and I go there with that intention that I have gone to visit the grave of my father. I remember my father. I remember my mother. But Islam tells us, yes, you go there. It is important. We remember them. But at the same time, remember that also. Today I have come to visit them. They are lying inside their grave. Tomorrow I will be lying there. It is haqq, it is truth that every person shall taste death. It is haqq, it is truth. That every person will go through the period of barzakh, and it is haqq, and it is truth that every one of us is going to be resurrected. And we will be brought in front of Allah. And Quran tells us, أَلَيْسَ اللَّهُ بِأَحْكَمِ الْحَاكِمِينَ. Isn't Allah Azza wa Jal the wisest of all the judges? The best of all the judges. He is the one who is going to judge us. So I advise myself, remind myself, tell you, my dear elders, brothers and sisters, we learn two things. One is, let's not forget our marhumin. And one thing that I would like to remind you all, and I just want to mention what Brother Zahir Abbas mentioned. When he talked about Surah Teen, and it says one of the fadilat of Surah Teen is that it is as if you have visited the Holy Prophet. Right? And I just want to add, what a better surah to recite in the month of Sha'ban, which is the month of the Holy Prophet, than Surah Teen. It would be like, in this month we are visiting the Holy Prophet. Okay. Let's remember that. The second point I want to remind ourselves is, one of the important things that really help our marhumin is whatever sadaqah you give on their behalf. There is one tradition which mentions that whatever you give on behalf of the marhum, right? Allah Azza wa Jal orders the angels to put that, whatever you have given as sadaqah, on a silver platter. And the angels, not one angel, the angels are told, go and take this to that marhum and present it there. And when the marhum receives that, he feels that happiness in the heart. For that is going to assist him, and it will also remind him. Fifth Imam tells us that when you visit the grave of any marhum, that person who is lying down there in the grave knows that you have come to visit him. Knows that you have come to visit him. And that time, as long as you are near the grave, he feels that happiness that he has come to give me company. And when you go and depart, he starts feeling that loneliness returning to him. Visiting the graves is important in so many aspects. We remember that. But we have to prepare ourselves also for our journey in the hereafter. Remember one thing. As to what is that the people or the companions of Imam Hussein alayhi salam have taught us in Karbala. Reflect. If you were to look at those companions of Imam Hussein alayhi salam, who on the 10th day were martyrs, by evening they were martyrs, there is one thing amongst all of them, and one thing which is common is, they were all ready to sacrifice their lives. Not that they were committing suicide, no. They wanted to defend. They went there, they defended, they fought, they killed the enemies. Finally, when they were surrounded and they were killed, it is that they reached to that peak that they were ready. They had no worry that living in this world, we will live in this world, let us live maybe 3 years more, 5 years more, 10 years more. No. Defending and protecting the religion is one of the important points that we have to take. In our own way, when the time comes upon the religion. Right? We recite one dua where we say, Allahumma la taj'al musibatana fi dinina. Right? Oh Allah, let there no problem or difficulty come upon our religion. Right? And do you know that one of the biggest problem that we are facing, unfortunately, is the ghaibah of our Imam. This is the biggest problem for us. This is the biggest problem for us in our religion. So we have to awaken ourselves and we have to prepare ourselves as to how we are going to be ready and welcome the Imam. We want to take lesson, let's go to Karbala. जानना चाहते हैं तो चलिए करबला की तरफ कि जब इमाम हुसैन अलैहिस्सलाम ने अपने असहाब और अंसार को इजाज़त भी दे दी थी आशूर की रात को, जिसको चाहे वो जा सकता है रात की तारीकी में, तो हम देखते हैं कि उन्होंने क्या जवाब दिया, उनका जवाब क्या था। उनका जवाब ये था कि मौला, कोई भी तरह से, कोई भी तरीके से हम आपको नहीं छोड़ेंगे, हम आपको नहीं छोड़ेंगे, हम आपके साथ रहेंगे और एक ज़िंदगी नहीं कई ज़िंदगियां हमें मिले, मौला हम आप पर वो ज़िंदगियां कुर्बान कर देंगे। और अज़ादारों, यही था, यही अमल उनका था। रात को उन्होंने बोला था, आशूर का दिन आया और गवाह देते हैं हमारे चौथे इमाम इमाम ज़ैनुल आबिदीन अलैहिस्सलाम, और वो फरमाते हैं कि मैं मेरे बाबा के असहाब और अंसार की तरफ देख रहा था और उनके चेहरे की तरफ देख रहा था, देखता था कि यहाँ कोई किसी की शहादत की खबर आई, कोई शहीद हो गया, तो मैं देख रहा था कि उनके चेहरे की नूरानियत बढ़ती गई कि कब हमारा वक्त आए, हमको इजाज़त मिले और हम जाए। और ऐसे सब असहाब और अंसार ने अपनी जानें कुर्बान कर दी। हाँ अज़ादारों, आखिर में रह गए मौला इमाम हुसैन अलैहिस्सलाम। मौला ने सबको अलविदा किया। आखिरी रुखसत के बाद जुलजना पर सवार हुए। अब जो मैदान में गए हैं है। बस अज़ादारों, इमाम हुसैन अलैहिस्सलाम ने जंग की, मक्तल में हमको मिलता है कि इमाम ने बहादुरी से जंग की। लेकिन अज़ादारों, एक बहन थी जो बेचैन थी, वो चाहती थी देखे कि भाई हुसैन की हालत क्या है। बस अज़ादारों, वो ज़ैनब जब तल ज़ैनबिया पर पहुंची है और क्या देखा, खुदा किसी बहन को ये हालत न दिखाए। भाई ज़मीने करबला पर है और शिम्र भाई के सीने पे बैठा हुआ है, हाथ में खंजर है। बस अज़ादारों सुनिए, जब ज़ैनब वापस जा रही है खैमे की तरफ, और जब खैमे में दाखिल हुई है और जब आवाज आई अला कुतिल अल हुसैन बिकरबला, अला ज़ुबिह अल हुसैन बिकरबला। अज़ादारों, मैं चाहता हूँ बयान करूँ ये ज़ैनब कौन है। एक बहन है, एक ऐसी बहन है और एक ऐसी बेटी है कि पैगंबर की वफात से लेके आज तक ज़ैनब ने कई मुसीबतें देखी थी। लेकिन अज़ादारों, जब मौला हुसैन की जिस्म, वो जिस्म जिस पर घोड़े दौड़ाए गए थे और जिससे गला काटा गया था, जब ज़ैनब वहाँ पहुँची है, एक मर्तबा दोनों हाथ उठाए, अल्लाहुम्मा तक़ब्बल मिन्ना हाज़ल क़ुर्बा, अला लअनतुल्लाहि अलल क़ौमिज़ ज़ालिमीन व सयअलमुल लज़ीना ज़लमू अय्युम मुनक़लबिन यनक़लिबून, इन्ना लिल्लाहि व इन्ना इलैहि राजिऊन। अल्लाहुम्मा बिहक़्क़ि मुहम्मदिन व अंतल महमूद व बिहक़्क़ि अलीय्यिन व अंतल अअला व बिहक़्क़ि फ़ातिमा व अंत फ़ातिरिस समावाति वल अर्ज़ीन व बिहक़्क़िल हसन व अंतल मुहसिन व बिहक़्क़िल हुसैन व अंत क़दीमुल इहसान व बिहक़्क़ि तिस्अतिल मअसूमीन मिन ज़ुर्रिय्यतिल हुसैन अलैहिमुस्सलाम। O Allah, whatever little that we have performed for Isal Thawab of Marhuma Khatijabai Mawani, as well as for all the other Marhumin, O Allah, accept it in your presence. Forgive the sins of Marhuma Khatijabai Mawani as well as all the other Marhumin. Ya Allah, shower your mercy upon all our Marhumin. Ya Allah, we pray to you that those of mu'minin and mu'minat who are suffering from one or another illness, Ya Allah, grant them quick recovery and grant them good health. Those who are in difficulties, remove their difficulties from them. Ya Allah, hasten the reappearance of your Hujjah, the Imam of our time, Imam Sahib al-Zaman, Ajjalallahu farajahu sharif, sallallahu ala Muhammadin wa alihi tahirin. Request you all to please recite one surah Fatiha for all the marhumin. Al-Fatiha.
Thank you very much, Mulla Sahab. Once again, as always, an excellent lecture, especially with the great advice within that. I will cut mine short because most of it's been covered. Hazrat Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wasallam, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. He who is obedient to his parents and his Lord will reside in the highest heaven. Simple lines, and you've been guaranteed heaven. My only advice to you, as a humble mere person, is to say, look, the kids now, you have your parents. Take advantage. You will always hear parents say, exactly saying, where's the time gone? Where's the time gone? As Mullah Sahab said, we're never going to be here all the way through. There will be a time where the parents will move on into the next life. But I say to the children, take advantage of that time. Make use of every single moment, even when it's becoming difficult, when you just don't want to get up off the sofa or you can't be bothered to do whatever. Go, because when that parent moves on, and it's the will of Allah when they move on, no matter how much strength you have, believe you me, there's a hole. Yeah, they are the backbone. I can tell you now that there are times when I used to come home stressed, tough day, things are going wrong. But the lap of my mother was the best medicine. No matter what was going on, I lay my head onto my mother's lap and everything went away. So I say to the kids now, and to the people who've got their parents still alive, take advantage, make use of that time and honor them. I'd like to now invite Muhammad Ali and his up-and-coming son, the next reciter for the community, to come and recite a kalam and a marshia with a nice salawat, please. Allah.
محمد وآل محمد صلوات. موت کی آغوش میں جب تھک کے سو جاتی ہے ماں، موت کی آغوش میں جب تھک کے سو جاتی ہے ماں، تب کہیں جا کر سکون تھوڑا سا پا جاتی ہے ماں. فکر میں بچوں کے کچھ اس طرح گل جاتی ہے ماں، فکر میں بچوں کے کچھ اس طرح گل جاتی ہے ماں. نوجواں ہوتے ہوئے بری نظر آتی ہے ماں. روح کے رشتوں کی یہ گہرائیاں تو دیکھیے، روح کے رشتوں کی یہ گہرائیاں تو دیکھیے. چوٹ لگتی ہے ہمارے اور چلاتی ہے ماں. جان کتنی برف سی راتوں میں ایسا بھی ہوا، جان کتنی برف سی راتوں میں ایسا بھی ہوا. بچے تو چاہتی پہ ہے گیلے پہ سو جاتی ہے ماں، بچے تو چاہتی پہ ہے گیلے پہ سو جاتی ہے ماں. پر محمد وآل محمد صلوات. ہائے زینب ہائے زینب ہائے زینب ہائے زینب ہائے زینب ہائے زینب. اتنی غریب ہو گئے غم یوں لپٹ گئے، اتنی غریب ہو گئے غم یوں لپٹ گئے، اتنے غریب ہو گئے غم یوں لپٹ گئے. ہاتھوں سے ماں کے خیم کا پردہ الٹ گیا، ہاتھوں سے ماں کے خیم کا پردہ الٹ گیا. ہاتھوں پہ شک جس گھڑی اصغر الٹ گئے، हाथों पे के जिस घड़ी असगर उलट गए, इतने गरीब हो गए गम यूं लिपट गए, इतने गरीब हो गए गम यूं लिपट गए। बोले हुसैन बेटी से पानी ना मांगना, बोले हुसैन बेटी से पानी ना मांगना, जिन बाजुओं पे मश्क थे वो बाजू कट गए, जिन बाजुओं पे मश्क थे वो बाजू कट गए, इतने गरीब हो गए गम यूं लिपट गए। बर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु सूरतुल मुबारकतुल फातिहा।
So what? I was going to do a short speech, but I'm always doing speeches, so I decided for the last few months that I'd like to do something different. And what I decided was there's been a lot of emotions since Mars passed in all the family, and I've decided to pull that together and put it into a poem. Inshallah, that it touches you or it resonates with you. And it's not very long, so here goes. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. It has been 15 months since Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala called you, and we still hurt. Sajjad Shabna Mishrat held your delicate hands as you took your last breath. But me and Riaz missed you even though we ran. For 40 days you sent 2 beautiful birds to me and Riaz to soothe our pain. You can only have one mother, and Ma was ours. Patient, kind, and true. Ma was our biggest supporter. No other friend in all the world would be the same to you. When others leave you, to your mother you return. For all her loving kindness, she asks for nothing in return. A mother's love is something no one can explain. It is made of deep devotion, sacrifice, and pain. Ma, how did you find the energy and the time to do all the things you did for us? You were a teacher, a nurse, a counselor, a mentor, and much more to us all. I see now it was love, a mother's love that only a mother can understand. God made mothers special and unique, and God gave that dear mother to us. We even have a little Khadija to remember your beautiful name. Ma, your bungalow was a beacon of light for all of us. But the light in the bungalow has gone out, and you've gone, but you will never be forgotten. Your legacy remains in all of us. Because of you, we walk on the path of Islam with pride. Because of you, we have yaqeen. Ma, fi amanillah. So what? Thank you. Before my nephew Ali comes up and does ziyarat to close the program, I just want to say 2 things now. So firstly, several of my family members have seen Ma in a dream, and they're extremely lucky. And one person saw Ma on a Mother's Day gathering, which is quite apt really, because tomorrow is Mother's Day. And Mum always liked events like that because it brought everyone together. Everyone would come and visit and see her. So what we've decided to do today is we have a cake that you will enjoy after Niyaz with your tea. But in the ladies, we have put together a little gift for all the mothers that have attended today. So please, when you leave, if you see my daughter Media Mawani on the way out, she will give you that gift. And inshallah, it will give you some pleasure. Secondly, I want to thank every single one of you for making the time and the effort to attend and paying tribute to my mum and all our marhumeens. And I thank the Jamaat and the AV team who've made time of their own back to come and help me with this, and all of us. So I leave with a thanks. I ask you to recite one more Surah Fatiha for all our marhumeens and Ma, and then I'll ask Ali to come up and do Ziyarat al-Ashura. So, Fatiha.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين وابن سيد الوسيين. السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة سيدتي نساء العالمين. السلام عليك يا خيرة الله وابن خيرته. السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والوتر الموتور. السلام عليك وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليكم مني جميعا سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار. يا أبا عبد الله، لقد عزمت الرزية وجلت وعزمت المصيبة بك علينا وعلى جميع أهل الإسلام، وجلت وعزمت مصيبتك في السماوات على جميع أهل السماوات. فلعن الله أمة أسست أساس الظلم والجور عليكم أهل البيت، ولعن الله أمة دفعتكم عن مقامكم وأزالتكم عن مراتبكم التي رتبكم الله فيها. ولعن الله أمة قتلتكم، ولعن الله الممحدين لهم بالتمكين من قتالكم. برئت إلى الله وإليكم منهم ومن أشياعهم وأتباعهم وأوليائهم. يا أبا عبد الله، إني سلم لمن سالمكم وحرب لمن حاربكم إلى يوم القيامة. ولعن الله آل زياد وآل مروان، ولعن الله بني أمية قاتبة، ولعن الله ابن مرجان، ولعن الله عمر بن سعد، ولعن الله شمرا، ولعن الله أمة أسرجت وألجمت وتنقبت وتحيأت لقتالك. بأبي أنت وأمي لقد عزم مسابي بك، فأسأل الله الذي أكرم مقامك وأكرمني بك أن يرزقني طلب ثارك مع إمام منصور من أهل بيت محمد صلى الله عليه وآله. اللهم اجعلني عندك وجيها بالحسين عليه السلام في الدنيا والآخرة. يا أبا عبد الله إني أتقرب إلى الله وإلى رسوله وإلى أمير المؤمنين وإلى فاطمة وإلى الحسن وإليك بموالاتك وبالبراءة ممن قاتلك ونسب لك الحرب وبالبراءة ممن أسس أساس الظلم والجور عليكم. وأبرأ إلى الله وإلى رسوله ممن أسس ذلك وبنى عليه بنيانه وجرى في ظلمه وجوره عليكم وعلى أشيائكم. برئت إلى الله وإليكم منهم وأتقرب إلى الله ثم إليكم بموالاتكم وموالاة وليكم وبالبراءة من أعدائكم والناسبين لكم الحرب وبالبراءة من أشيائهم وأتباعهم. إني سلم لمن سالمكم وحرب لمن حاربكم وولي لمن والاكم وعدو لمن عاداكم. فأسأل الله الذي أكرمني بمعرفتكم ومعرفة أوليائكم ورزقني البراءة من أعدائكم أن يجعلني معكم في الدنيا والآخرة وأن يثبت لي عندكم قدم صدق في الدنيا والآخرة. وأسأله أن يبلغني المقام المحمود لكم عند الله وأن يرزقني طلب ثاري مع إمام حدى زاهر ناطق بالحق منكم. وأسأل الله بحقكم وبالشأن الذي لكم عنده أن يعطيني بمسابي بكم أفضل ما يعطي مسابا بمصيبته مصيبة، ما أعظمها وأعظم رزيتها في الإسلام وفي جميع السماوات والأرض. اللهم اجعلني في مقامي هذا ممن تناله منك صلوات ورحمة ومغفرة. اللهم اجعل محياي محيا محمد وآل محمد ومماتي ممات محمد وآل محمد. اللهم إن هذا يوم تبركت به بنو أمية وابن آكلة الأكباد اللعين ابن اللعين على لسانك ولسان نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله في كل موطن وموقف وقف فيه نبيك صلى الله عليه وآله. اللهم لعن أبا سفيان ومعاوية ويزيد بن معاوية عليهم منك اللعنة أبد العابدين. وهذا يوم فرحت به آل زياد وآل مروان بقتلهم الحسين صلوات الله عليه. اللهم فزاعف عليهم اللعن منك والعذاب العليم. اللهم إني أتقرب إليك في هذا اليوم وفي موقفي هذا وأيام حياتي بالبراءة منهم واللعنة عليهم وبالموالاة لنبيك وآل نبيك عليه وعليهم السلام. اللهم لعن أول ظالم ظلم حق محمد وآل محمد وآخر تابع له على ذلك. اللهم لعن العصابة التي جاحدت الحسين وشايعت وبايعت وتابعت على قتله. اللهم لعنهم جميعا. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى أصحاب الحسين. اللهم خص أنت أول ظالم باللعن مني وابدأ به أولا ثم الثانية ثم الثالثة ثم الرابع. اللهم لعن يزيد خامسا والعن عبيد الله بن زياد وابن مرجان وعمر بن سعد وشمرة وآل أبي سفيان وآل زياد وآل مروان إلى يوم القيامة. سجود. اللهم لك الحمد حمد الشاكرين لك على مسابهم. الحمد لله على عزيم رزيتي. اللهم ارزقني شفاعة الحسين يوم الورود، وثبت لي قدم صدق عندك مع الحسين وأصحاب الحسين الذين بذلوا محجهم دون الحسين عليه السلام. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. السلام عليك يا رسول الله. السلام عليك يا أمير المؤمنين. السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء. السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى. السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين، وعلى 9 المعصومين من ذريتك، علي بن الحسين ومحمد بن علي وجعفر بن محمد وموسى بن جعفر وعلي بن موسى ومحمد بن علي وعلي بن محمد والحسن بن علي والحجة بن الحسن. أجل الله تعالى فرجه وسهل الله تعالى مخرجه وزهوره. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. ما صل على محمد وآل محمد. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم كل وليك الحجة بن الحسن صلواتك عليه وعلى آبائه في هذه الساعة وفي كل ساعة
وليا وحافظا وقائدا وناصرا ودليلا وعينا حتى تسكنه أرزك توأ تمتع فيها طويلا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. ما شاء الله.